this is my attempt to like mix in more of like the other personality, the flip side. But maybe we might have to cut this out.
Cut it out because.
Alright guys, so this is episode 7. I'm very excited. We're just gonna have a chill session. I think we all had a long day. But yeah, let's jump right into it. I totally forgot that it was a public holiday today. Did you guys do anything?
Not much. I didn't really do anything.
Did you have to go to work today, Krishn? Did you have to go city?
No, I didn't go to work today, but
Nice.
yeah, dude, long weekend. I feel tired, man. It's like I feel lazy. I feel refreshed. I feel energized, but also tired and lazy. Yeah, I didn't really spend much time doing anything. Hey, I just went out. I went to the beach, like my friend Steven
nice.
did as well, and
Nice.
then yesterday was like a mate's 22nd, so we did that. And then in the morning, I went and played tennis this morning, dude. I woke up at 9 a.m. on a public holiday to play tennis. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? But there I was. And that's what did you get up to? Did you work all long weekend or?
Dude, Sunday, you know what happened? I transformed into a potato. And I was just like this is me. I think you guys can see me. Like, this is me all day. Can you guys see me? Can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah. Oh god.
My hand will get sore. And I'll be like, switch hands. I transformed into a potato, guys. And then caught up with my uncle last night. We cooked, made some dinner, caught up, chilled, and then slept a bit late. Alarm rang at 7:30 this morning. And I snoozed and I slept in for another half an hour, and I got out of bed at 8:15. I didn't want to get out of bed.
Steven, you can back me up here, surely. You've been a potato like that before, right? Like I'm a potato like that, and many a
just
time.
sliding
Bro.
around. Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't feel
100%.
like doing anything all day because it's just so dead.
It hits differently.
Yeah.
It's just perfect. It's just so much. It's so good.
And then I slowly got work done, and I had a pretty productive day then, so I'm pretty happy. But that was my long weekend. I didn't even know today was a public holiday.
That's
But yeah, here's another one of my poses. That's another one of my potato poses. And I have like a couch in the living room, and just like lean down, and just like stare at my phone and get 10 hours screen time. And so let's check my screen time yesterday.
Not
check
gonna lie,
yesterday.
that's the good life, though. That is the good life. I do like me some.
Oh, 8.5 hours. Yeah, 5 freaking hours was on YouTube. So yeah, that's how my weekend was. But yeah, today got like a lot of work done. Burnt like by 6:30, my brain was fried. Had dinner, went on a walk. And it's crazy how like when you walk and you're just in nature, sometimes just like walking, getting the air, seeing the sunset, seeing all the trees, you just feel refreshing. Like, life isn't too bad. And then came back and we're on this podcast now.
Yeah, 100%. So it's always good to like get out of the cycle that you're stuck in, and then if you're working really hard, just go outside. Like I always neglected like even just exercising, working out sometimes. Like during COVID especially, just neglected it. But like now, trying to make a point of like exercising in any way or form I can. I think me going to tennis this morning was a good excuse. Good excuse for me to like catch up, be
Was it
social, and
hot?
just like, oh yeah, because I booked it at 9 a.m. and like I had a big night last night, and it was a bit rough getting up this morning, and then I had to drive, and it's like, oh god, and then like because we got at 9 and it wasn't that hot, but it picked up, and then it got really hot eventually, and I'm like, dude, watch me, bro. I'm gonna be in Australian Open soon. Watch your space. That's
Dude,
not gonna be there.
I heard that tennis is a very like there's a lot of mental games in it. Like the way you serve, you're just like doing like a purpose foul. You like,
Yeah.
Dude, there was this funny clip where like I think the guy beat Federer or something, and he just like hit the ball through his like legs, and it hit the guy on his back, and everyone's like, ooh.
Dude. Like tennis
Definitely.
players, they're crazy, dude. Like the amount of the mental stamina
Yeah.
and then just physical stamina as well that they have to be able to go like 2+ hours, if like worst case 3+ hours or whatever, or like full on same energy, maintain the same levels, etc.
Dude, I reckon
that's
like
just insane.
their ankles must be so strong. Like they're doing like running side to side. Like that's like ankle breaking, bro. If you're running side to side, like that's like the ankle breaker exercise.
Dude, 100%. And it's like, not only do they run side to side, but like they slide as well. So like,
Oh,
yeah, it's I don't know how they do it.
they've probably got strong ankles.
Yeah, they would have been like conditioned from like when they were extremely young as well, eh? Like when they were like 5 years old, just like, no, go and play tennis, don't study, go play tennis.
Do you think
That's
they all have
interesting.
like thick ankles? Thick ankles.
Yeah, they should.
Stephen,
Like
can you
in terms
search
of
up Roger Federer's ankles?
ankles. Oh god.
Search up his ankles, see if it's thick. Did you play any sports when you were in
high
Damn,
school?
he has thick ankles. Yeah, we're in high school.
I played a little bit. Like I played a lot of soccer, so I played soccer from like under 9s to like year 12 or something, and then I just stopped because I was like, nah, see, it's like I had to focus and everything, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, look at that.
Dude, he has like muscles on his ankles. But there was this guy who like coached a lot of sort of entrepreneurs and business people, and he said the common thing that all of them have is they all have a history of sports.
Interesting. What sports
There's
did you
something
play?
about I did swimming. It's something about like the discipline, the mindset, the pushing through things.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, interesting, dude. I might just like, if I have a kid, just like make him do every single sport.
There'll be a
piano,
tiger parent.
the violin, just sports.
Just be like, no, you're getting up now and you're playing this sport. Just like force them to like become an international player. Just be like, no,
Dude.
you're gonna make it.
Thinking about it, you know how like Asians make their kids do like violin, piano, tutoring?
Yeah.
White parents throw their kids into like 5 freaking different sports.
Yeah. The kids never want to do it, you know. The kids never be like, "Mummy, Daddy, I want to pick up a violin," or "Mommy, Daddy, you know, I want to play this sport, this sport, this sport." It's kind of crazy to think, eh? It's all for the parents. The parents want to do it. Okay, they're gonna go do it. Did you play violin when you were young?
I did not. Play piano a bit. Yeah, I did piano. Tried self-learning guitar.
How'd that go?
I could play like 3 songs. That's it.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Just like
I thought you were gonna say
memorize
like I
songs.
played like. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say like I can play like 2 chords. I'm like, Andy, everyone can play 2 chords. Everyone can play 2 chords. What about you, Stephen?
My parents never really forced me into doing anything when I was little, so then I didn't. Well, I wanted to learn how to play piano when I was in year 7, but
Yeah.
then that didn't go too well. So yeah.
Nothing. The common theme is, am I frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
So Stephen, why did piano didn't go well? That was I said that
Well-
grammatically wrong, but yeah.
Andy, when you were learning piano, was it easy for you to become like easily coordinated? Like you could play both the melody and like the bass of like the song.
I guess
So
I
left
learned
hand and right
one
hand.
hand at a time. Like I learned with
Oh.
one hand, and then I learned a chord, and then we combined it.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like right hand was easy, and then like in my mind, I thought that learning like left hand was too. I don't know. It was like boring because that's not what you mainly hear inside like a song. So then I was like, just play right hand. Who cares? Make the left hand extremely simple. But then it didn't sound as good when I tried, so I was like, screw it. I'm out.
Krishn, you know what happened like this weekend when Stephen came through? So I had like a request. I was like, Stephen, can you help me find a fridge? Like I want to buy a fridge, and like go on Gumtree and just like negotiate with everyone. And then I pick up my phone, and like there's this fridge. It costs $330. How much would you negotiate, Krishn? Like if you were to send an offer, how much would you send?
I'd go 250.
I think
Yeah, I didn't know what I was
Stephen
doing.
said something. It was like, would you do 300?
I didn't know what I was
Oh,
doing. I can't.
And I think there was like something like there's a fridge for 320, and like it would do like, would you do it for 310?
Oh, Stephen, you.
That was a bit of an exaggeration, but that's how I felt. Maybe that happened. I didn't go through all the messages.
I fixed that up though, Andy. Wait, did you end up getting a fridge or what happened?
I'm still looking for one. I can't like lowball. I can't. We already sent the offer, so I have to like look for new listings.
Wait, how much did you offer?
Can you decline them? Or like, can you just say, I'm sorry, I'm not looking for this anymore to them?
I just don't reply. I'm just like,
Oh, that, okay.
Oh, he's a ghoster. He's a ghoster.
no, this is ghost.
Stephen,
Yes.
have you ever been to Southeast Asia?
Yes, I have.
And have you had any experience in like the
Negotiation.
markets and stores? Yes, negotiation.
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't, that's why.
what were you? Have you been to the markets and stores?
Yes, I have, but then I mainly just chill. Or like, I just look at stuff. I don't like trying to buy things in there.
You know, you haven't bought a single thing.
No.
I just look at stuff.
That's where you go wrong. That's where you go. You gotta drive a hard bargain. You gotta be like, yeah, 200. No, I want it for 100. And then sometimes they could say yes. If not, you work your way up or down. You know, you gotta do it like that. You know, and eventually you learn it. It's actually something that should be like everyone should like learn, because it's quite important in being able to barter and like negotiate, like just negotiation in general, because it can come up clutch in a lot of different scenarios that you wouldn't really expect, especially in terms of like just in day to day, or like, for example, like the biggest thing that I can think of is when you're like, if you're entering the workforce and you're negotiating your contract with your employer, you know, your wage package, and it's like, if you don't negotiate, you're just going to get what they give you, and it's like, you know, you could potentially get more and you don't even know. So it's definitely something that everyone, I think, should definitely have the skill
On
to be
that
able
topic,
to.
Krishn, did you negotiate your wage, or how does it work? Like when you like apply for a job and they say you've gotten the job, this is your wage.
Yeah.
Can you negotiate? I actually don't know. Tell me about that.
So usually, to my knowledge, it depends on the place. So obviously, if you are going to go to like a big four professional services firm, or like a big bank in your country, whatever, yeah, that's stipulated. That's not going to change. You're going to get that pay, and it's going to go up according to your performance, and you know, if you become senior or manager, etc.
So you didn't negotiate?
I didn't. No, I didn't negotiate. I just, in terms of like, say, just a random company or an industry, say for example, you know, you're going to go be the head of finance or project manager or whatever at a company, you can negotiate based on, you know, your experience and the experience that you're leveraging, and you know how much you feel that you should be paid, and then if they really want you, they will accept the negotiation terms. But like I said, at the big corporate firms, or like, you know, the big banks, you take what you get. You know what I mean? There's no, you're the corporate cock, you're the corporate slave. You got to say yes. You need to bend over and say yes. That's the one thing. Yeah.
I agree. Talking about like Vietnam and Southeast Asia, like, you know, like I feel like there's always people just praying. Like there's people in the alleyways looking for like fresh meat, and like I don't know why. Like Stephen, like if I went to like Southeast Asia with Stephen, I feel like Stephen's like this beacon. Stephen will be this beacon. It's like, please, like. No, I'm not like I don't know, Stephen. Like,
I know what you mean.
You're just like fresh. Like people, like you're so. I guess I'll say it now, Stephen. You're so cute. People just want to like. You're so cute and like bubbly, and people just want to like.
And vulnerable. Yeah.
I didn't say that. That's what Krishn said. I didn't say that. I said you're cute.
I don't know.
I see how it is.
I said you're cute.
Like, no, from my perspective, from when I went to all these countries, like India, Vietnam, Malaysia, or Singapore, whatever, right? If you look naive and vulnerable, in the sense that if you look like you're wandering around, like looking, you know what I mean?
Stephen walks through the city like that, and he like bumps into people. He walks directly into people, and like Stephen, well, tell me the reasoning that you told me why you do that.
Try to make it look like I wanted to start a fight with them.
So that's why he walks directly into them and bumps into them.
Why?
I have no idea.
Why? What?
So whenever we're walking through Sydney, like a first world country, like I feel like people just want to like f- with me when I have like nice young interns with me, and then I'm trying to like be like this like lion that makes sure these cubs that have like these shirts saying "kick me on the back" don't get kicked. That's okay, Steve. I got you.
my god. No, but going back to just a couple of minutes
Asia.
ago before you violated Stephen.
I'm sorry, Stephen.
Oh, it's alright. Do I still walk like that, by the way, or what do you think?
We haven't been outside since the city, yeah. So
Oh,
so
let's
I can't-
go. Let's go to the city next time.
Yeah, and then Krishn
Show you
can come as
something,
well.
maybe.
I need
I'll
some backup.
come.
We
We'll
need
go
backup.
Ah, that's alright.
Dude, we
Okay.
walked by Sanctuary, and I felt like a bunch of LBs were just gonna like aim us all because like there was the two young like nice innocent Asian boys that were not LBs, and we're walking past Sanctuary. Sanctuary is this like place where like all these like LGs and LBs, like ABGs, that's what you call it in America. Well, they hang out there, and like I had these two nice innocent Asian boys walking with me, and I never felt that scared in my life ever. Like it was just like it was not because I had these. It was just like me. I could walk on my own. That's fine. But when you have two beacons, two people with like, "Hey, please with me" shirts, and then we're like, I don't know. It's just like a beacon. It's a vibe. It's like emanates out of you, dude. So I'll roast myself. So when I was in America and I was like hanging out with like everyone, all my friends, like my mentor, they're all in their late 20s, early 30s, and I was just like doing my thing. I was just like helping, working for free, being the nice sort of diligent kid I was, working, giving a lot of value, and I was just getting burnt. I was pissed. I was like angry. I was whatever. And they're like, dude, like Andy, you're so like angsty. You're so like you have this like pubescent, prepubescent, gone through what's that word? Gone through adolescence, gone through puberty, and I was like, what the f- are you saying, dude? Like, stop saying that. Like, dude, look, you're getting so angsty. And then I didn't understand. Like at the time, I couldn't tell. Like I could tell, like I was. I guess the more they were saying it, the more weird I felt. Like I was like, dude, stop calling me angsty. I'm getting more angsty 100%. As you tell me I'm angsty.
Because, you know, to you that was like a normal reaction or something that you've just been doing normally, but then the minute that it was called out by someone else or another group of people, and you feel like you have to listen to them, because if it's more than one person saying that to you, then you're like, you take a step back and you're like, wait, am I getting anxious? Am I angsty? Do I need to change something? And I think, actually, question: when you went to America, do you feel like that you, don't take this the wrong way, but matured? Do you feel like you matured heavily in America? Like
1,000%. Yeah. Ever since I was like young, I always had what I called little brother syndrome. I think maybe because I was like older sibling, I always wanted an older sibling, I always wanted a brother, I always wanted someone to look up to for some reason. And as a result, I had this little brother syndrome where I was like everyone's little brother. And in America, it made sense because I was 20 and everyone's 30. But like sometimes you don't want to hang out with a little brother all the time. You want someone that can really stand on their own 2 feet and work with you. And they made me realize that. I was like, dude, like stop being like so angsty. Stop being like this kid. Like you're an adult, dude. And like they kicked me out. Spent like 2 weeks living in Las Vegas with friends, traveling, just like doing my own, just becoming more independent. Freaking going camping on my own. When I came back, that really forced me to grow and just like hang out with these older people. I was just like forced to mature. I was forced to really skip all the young teenage college sort of lifestyle, which they'll like do like, baby, it was bad that we like forced you to grow and you missed out on all these things. But I'm pretty happy with like where I'm at now, and I'm really appreciative that I was able to get matured and learn all those things.
I think for you to say that you've missed out on, you know, the teenage college lifestyle, etc., is a little bit, I think that's a little bit too far, in the sense that you're still 21, 22, 21. You're still 21. you 9 years left in your 20s, so much time. Everyone,
Yeah.
like, obviously everyone matures differently in the sense that they experience different things and then they go through it differently, etc. But man, you got heaps of time to have fun, etc. as well. It's not like you don't have fun either. Like, obviously, when this is all over, go out and get a drink, etc. You know what I mean? Like, it's yeah, it's none of that. It's just more so I think that you were in an environment surrounded by all these older people where you force yourself to essentially, throw aside a lot of your old mentalities and, gain some new ones. And, you went camping by yourself, forced you to live on your own 2 feet. You understood a lot more. You appreciated the value of money. You were a lot more understanding of people and their circumstances, etc. And then that forced you to grow.
Yeah, I agree. And when I came back, and I was like, occasionally come back to Australia and visit my family. And when I would hang out with my old friends, it was like, dude, like I felt old. I felt like this old, serious dude. And that was mainly like my problem. Like I was just coming out of like hanging out with 30s, people in their 30s, to hanging out with people 20, 21 years old. And over time, as I've lived in Australia, as I've hung out with more younger people, I'm starting to find a balance of like who I am, the level of maturity I have, as well as like I want to be able to have fun. Like I want to be able to show you what I look like when I was when I transformed into a potato last Sunday. And like I'm starting to figure out me and like the different sides of me and being able to like become. And I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, and like obviously you're not going to figure it out straight away. It's good that you're going through it, you're figuring it out, etc. I don't think anyone has themselves figured out. But when you got back from America, this is just sounding like an interrogation interview. I'm very sorry, but I'm also wanting to listen to it as well. When you came back, be honest, did you have a sense of superiority complex, or did you find yourself, without realizing, looking down at those around you in the same age, because you obviously know what you're capable of in terms of what you've experienced, etc. And then you were, exposed to serious numbers in terms of money, or you saw what other people were making, and you come back and you see students that obviously probably working casually, part-time, etc. Did you find yourself just being like, dude, what are you saying, or like, what are you doing, like, do this. I was like, what are your thoughts on that?
When I came back, it was weird. Like I couldn't connect to people. Like it felt like we were completely different. Like I wouldn't even think about what they did. I didn't think about them having a normal casual job and still studying. And they didn't think that I was like off in this crazy incubator in San Francisco. Like we just didn't, like it was just like we didn't connect.
Disconnect.
We were just it was like a weird disconnect where like we didn't acknowledge each other's, like, for example, like if we hang out with Elon Musk, we can't really connect with him. Like for example, like I've read his book, so I can sit next to him and be like, whoa, this guy is a freaking beast. Like he's been through so much stress, he's so smart, he knows a lot. But most people, when they hang out with him, they're like, oh, this is cool, this is Elon Musk. So I think people just didn't understand what I was doing or what I went through or my level of, I guess, like experience. And since they weren't able to interpret that, we were just like having normal conversations, and I couldn't even tell that they could, like there was, because I think for there to be a gap, there needs to be acknowledgement that there is a gap. Yeah. But since they just didn't understand, it was just like two clueless people just like hanging out.
Yeah. But I think it's important to acknowledge it in the sense that, I mean, not in a casual conversation, but like, obviously now looking back, you can acknowledge that there was a gap, etc. But like it goes without saying, like in terms of being able to understand someone, you need to have an insight as to what they were going through. So like they obviously thought for you, you just went to America, etc. And then you thought for them, what are you doing, etc. But like,
I didn't think like that. I was just like, whatever. Like I was just like, with them. Yeah, I didn't
yeah. Obviously, I'm not saying that you thought like that. I'm just saying like in terms of just generally what people would think, etc. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's quite interesting to know that you were out there doing your own thing, etc. Coming back.
Is I think that unrelatability isn't good for like relationships. Like the people that I really were able to connect and reconnect with were the people that were, asking the right questions, the people who understood, the people who knew and were curious about all the things I was doing. Not like they weren't like acknowledging that I was like way better than them, but they were like genuinely curious, like, oh, what did you do? What are all the crazy things? I want to hear more. And then I'm able to then share what I've done. And those are the people that I'm really able to bond with, rather than people who just like didn't know what to ask or say, because it was just like, maybe they just didn't know how to ask questions. Dude, that's another thing. A lot of people don't know how to like talk. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to like ask the right questions or just like have good conversations.
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, you're right. Like they need to be able to ask the right questions to be able to understand someone, etc. But before I touch on that, I actually wanted to ask as well. Obviously, there's a lot of people that would be a little bit hesitant to do what you did in terms of just dropping everything straight away and just flying overseas, doing it. Like, what would be like the 3 pieces of advice? Okay, so we got 1, ask the right questions. And I think, just asking the right questions, I think that's easily transferable across to a lot of people.
One thing I want to quickly add, you know how you're able to understand that I sort of dropped everything and moved to the States? And like, that's like a big step. Sometimes I would talk to people and they wouldn't even understand that. They would be like, oh, this guy just went to the States. And that's the cluelessness I'm talking about. Whereas you're able to be like, whoa, what? Like, how did you drop? Like, you understood what was at hand. And I'm then able to connect with you. But back to the story. It was
I mean, that connection thing is also based on, like you said, asking the right question. And, if you're always just assuming, you'll never know, and then it'll be bad because there's assumptions and then there's doubt. And it goes without, like, in anything, whether it's a relationship or just a casual conversation with a friend, etc. Like, before you think certain things or make like quick fire assumptions and judgments, just look back and ask questions. Like, just be open about it and just ask questions. But so what would be the 3 pieces of advice that you would give to someone that would be like thinking of doing what you're doing in terms of just like taking a really big risky move for their career, or if they want to pursue something that's extremely difficult, different to their lifestyle at the moment, and they have to make drastic changes to their life? What would be the 3 things that you'd, based on your experience, the 3 pieces of advice that you'd give?
Got it. So the 3 pieces of advice is 1. Actually, the first one is you want to have something already in order to really drop out. Like I only took a gap year, which was very calculated. A gap year is taking a year off university, and you could come back after that year and just start off as if where you left off. So there's literally no risk. The only risk is you're going to be a year behind. Now, I only took that gap year when I started making money online. So it was very calculated. I didn't just like do it on a whim. So tip number 1, have, buffer, have something that's working, have what you want to pursue already working before dropping out. 2, get to a point where you're constantly learning on your own. If you're able to always learn on your own, then you're replacing university. You're replacing college if you're self-educating. So learn how to self-educate yourself. And number 3, I think, becoming a people's person and figuring out yourself. I think being a people person, I think that's very broad, but just learning how to talk, learning how to ask the right questions, learning how to empathize, learning how to listen, learn how to give credit, learn how to give praise. I think those things are highly undervalued. And how about I don't know, people don't give enough praise. I compliment people for everything, but people struggle to give praise for something. And my feeling is maybe comes out of insecurity, maybe, because I think the reason probably I give so much praise is I'm so confident in myself. That's why I'm able to say, dude, Krishn, I love your beard. Your beard's starting to it's forming nicely. It's forming nicely.
Bro. Finally, bro. 4 weeks. Let's go. 4 weeks.
It's forming nicely.
Shaving, but no.
Don't shave it. Keep growing it. Keep growing it.
All right, we'll keep it going. But I think that's really important, because I think especially as well, you need to be able to read the room. you need to be able to have social awareness, read the room, social awareness, to be able to understand the situation you're in with the people that you're around, etc., so that you can develop yourself as well. And then the best insights that you get are from other people. So I think, touching on what you said as well, like when you are able to self-sustain yourself in terms of knowledge and studying, etc., you find out that, well, for your example, you found out that your actuarial and commerce degree wasn't for you, and then you thought, why am I doing this? And I think a lot of people just see, well, just in this situation, a lot of people just see tertiary education as like a safe haven. You attend it, you graduate, and you just find a job in that field. Whereas there's a lot of opportunity out there, especially nowadays in the technological age that we live in. There's a lot of opportunity out there for anyone to make money, and a lot of things they do, whether it's start your own business or see what's happening in the markets, etc., to be able to find a niche market to develop a business, a product, etc. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. And even me, like I'm definitely one of those people that 100% felt it was necessary to attend uni. It was like a safe option, safe haven, safe option, etc. You know what I mean? And it's like, I never really thought about it that way, but it's very interesting, because you were on it, and then you went, and then you came back, and now uni isn't even in the back of your mind. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's interesting. Never thought about it that way.
On the topic of being able to read the room, one skill I only recently started implementing is being able to match people's energy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's helped me a lot. Like before, I used to go all out and just like, I don't know, just be as extroverted as I can to get people hooked in. But you want to just match people's energy, and that's also another skill, like being able to, the speed they're talking, the level of enthusiasm you want. You want to come in with positivity, but matching their level of energy. So matching level, if they're negative, but they're slow, you can be slow but positive. So like just matching the speed, but always be positive, of course.
Dude, 100%. I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, because to be able to connect with as many people as you can, or like a lot of different people who are quite different personalities to you, like say for example, when you go to a conventional job, you see the same people every day for 5 days a week, etc. You have no choice but to get along with them. There is no way that anyone can attend a job and just not get along with them. So you need to be able to read the room and like read the energies, and like, I'm not saying that just change your whole personality and just succumb to whatever they're doing. No, dude, just like stay true to yourself, but just match them. Like when you're able to do that, like you said, match the energies, and like slowly, like for me, I'll just put it out there. Like I struggled in my first couple of weeks at work, because like brand new, I didn't know anyone in the team, but like you said, like slowly, you read the room, you read the energy. I was reading the energy of my coworkers, and it was difficult, but now I'm at a stage where, it's so good. Like, I like going into work. I like seeing them, because I'm able to have a conversation with them. I'm able to chill. They understand me now. They understand my vibe, and I'm quite enthusiastic and like, talkative, etc. So like, it's matched now. I was quiet at first, but I read it, and then match. And it's so interesting. I never really thought about it that way, that I was subconsciously just trial and erroring it. You know what I mean? Like slowly, like navigating my way around it. But yeah, it's interesting. I never thought about it that way.
And what was your strategy, Krishn, to get to know people in the workforce? And what's your tip?
My tip is, if you're entering a new job, you need to be open as possible. There's no way that you can enter a job and be closed-minded and say, oh crap, these guys are all older than me, or this person likes this and this, and like, I don't think I'm going to get along with them, and there's no point in me talking to them. Right? If you do that, you're immediately just setting yourself up for failure, because obviously, whether you like it or not, these guys are your colleagues, that guy's your manager, that guy's your big boss, and that guy's who you're reporting to, and this guy's who you're going to be working alongside with on this project or on this case. And like, everyone's in your job, in your field, in your team, are all working together for the same goal. There is no point just immediately shutting yourself off to be like I'm better than you, or like not even if you don't think you're better than you subconsciously put yourself above them the minute that you close down any opportunities to be able to connect with them. So my tip is just be as open as possible. Be open to the opportunities that might come. There's no like I'm not saying say yes to everything, but I'm saying be open to the people around you as well. You know, have conversations with people that you wouldn't usually have conversations with, or like, you know, just say, hey, you know, if you're getting a coffee, or like if you see bump each other, work, hey, how was your weekend? It's simple as that, you know what I mean? Because from there, slowly a conversation starts, and then, you know, someone that you thought you wouldn't be able to connect with, you're suddenly connecting with a game that happened on the weekend, or like anything, you know what I mean? And it, like, damn, like it's really hitting me now. That's literally what happened in my first couple of weeks. That I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna, you know anyone or like anyone, but like, yeah, that's what you do. You just keep yourself open. You allow yourself to be open. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Yeah.
Alright, Krishn, is it like high school? Wait, do people eat like lunch? Is there like a lunchtime and there's like a bunch of cafeterias and tables where people eat lunch? Is that a thing?
So, in my place, there's like a common kitchen where everyone just goes, and like, I think it depends on the place that you work. Some places are quite strict in the sense that when you take your lunch break, etc., and some places are just like, well, just like for example, the place I work to before I'm at right now, it was like, yeah, you have an hour lunch break. Go whenever you want. Just go like. Usually we take between 12 and 1. You can go 1 to 2 if you want, but you know, take an hour. You know, don't be too long. We're not going to, you know, monitor it, but you know, don't be an idiot. You know what I mean? So like, I personally used to go 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So I was working in the city, so you know, just go on a walk in the city, just do my own thing. But there was a common kitchen. So my current place is a common kitchen, but because of COVID restrictions, etc., there's only a certain number of people in the office. So, yeah, so there's only a certain number of people in the office. So like, you know, everyone's just doing their own thing. I think at bigger places like banks and stuff, they're a little bit more stricter in terms of, you know, this is your break taken now, because there's obviously adherence measures that you need to comply with to be able to make sure that you're meeting cutoffs and etc. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more stricter, but people still go and like, you know, use the kitchen, make themselves a coffee, come back, chill, and just do the work, and then yeah, you eventually get into it. It's hard for you to think, hey, like it's like a glorified school. Yeah, it's like I bet you're thinking right now it's like a glorified school. Yeah.
One thing is like there's like all these like guys in suits or the jocks, and they're like hanging around like the bench, and they're like drinking their coffees, and there's all these like girls in like their like corporate skirts, and they're all like sitting around a table, they're all like gossiping, and there's like a girls table and all the guys are just like talking about the girls, and there's like all the nerds with like a mix of like guys and girls, and they all wear glasses, and they're all the nerdy ones, and they have like lunch boxes that their parents packed for them, and they're sitting around a table, and like everyone's like adults. What's your thoughts?
You're thinking about school for adults. That's not true. I can assure you that is 100% not the case. Everyone... You're watching too many Netflix dramas where like there's like 27-year-olds playing high school teenagers. But no. It's not that like that. Like if you don't pack lunch, you're just spending way too much money. So like I think everyone packs lunch, etc., you know. But yeah, I think lunch is also a time where a lot of people just take it to themselves and just chill out, like me personally as well. Just chill out by myself, sometimes go for a walk, because you know, you're with these guys every day. Sometimes you just want some time just, you know, by yourself. But no, it's definitely not like that. People do, they all conversate, they all mingle together and everything. But
Nice.
yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I felt like it would be like that, especially at one of my workplaces, but it wasn't, and I'm thankful it wasn't, because that would have been really weird and awkward as hell. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that's hella funny. So, do you reckon with all the people you work with, do you reckon you're like friends with everyone that you work with?
Not everyone. I'm still getting to know a few people, but I think, like we said, now I'm able to be more of myself and like exert my energy more freely in that sense. I'm not saying that I was keeping it bottled in. I was just like being cautious, etc. But like I think I'm good friends with like 2 or 3 of the people that I started with, and like, you know, slowly getting to know the team more, and then eventually, you know, it'll just become like normal, and it'll just be like a normal workplace. But it's hard
What's
with
like the
everything.
what's the age demographic of the team?
Mine it varies. I'm the youngest, so like
Oh,
there's like a lot older people than me in my team. So it's like, yeah, it's
interesting. What's that dynamic like? Being able to like, you know, there's like like 22 years old, 40-year-olds. There's like 30-year-olds. There's like 25. What's that dynamic like?
Yeah, that's literally the dynamic of my team. So I'm the youngest. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like 40
How does it feel?
Yeah, it's a bit like obviously everyone just like my first day, not my first day, but like 2 weeks in, someone came up to me and asked me how old are you? I'm like, yes, and they're like, 18. I'm like 18. I'm like, no, I'm not 18. I'm 22. Like, dude,
No
and this
wonder
is
you started
partial-
growing out the beard.
Yeah, dude, this is half the reason why I did not haven't shaved in such a long time. Because I'm like, no, dude, I'm an adult, right? I've witnessed things, you know. And then it's a bit
I've
different
been
because
through.
I've seen things. It is different, but yeah, like initially, once people get over the fact that you're the youngest, it's just like they're like, oh, you're such a baby, oh, shut up. Like they get over the fact that you're the youngest. It's like you have to prove your work ethic, etc., and be able to show, hey, look, I might be the youngest, but I'm still on the same team as you. This is, like conversate properly, and then they understand, and then it's like normal. But like, yeah, it's quite interesting. Like, it's fine if they don't make a big deal about it and you don't think about it too much, but this is one of those things that just gets swept away. You just eventually get over it, and then it's all normal. But yeah, that's a little bit of an insight. So guys, we've hit 45 minutes. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate each and every one of you that do tune in. We have a lot of fun. Today was a little bit more conversational. We enjoyed it. I learned a little bit more about Andy that I personally didn't know previously as well. So good insights for you guys as well. Andy?
Likewise, I really enjoyed this episode. I really dug into Krishn. We really got to share the flip side. Like, dude, I think eventually we'll get to a point where we'll have haters. This comps being like, yo, like, Andy's just talking about himself. We want to hear about the 9 to 5 life. Well, we digged into the 9 to 5 life in this episode. So hopefully you guys got some value. And yeah, hopefully this is both entertaining and value packed. That was the goal. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. And have an amazing week. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Take care, guys. Take care.